to talk again on the Third Side Convo. We aren't always going to get it right, but we're real people and we're just having fun. Thank you much, and we'll be with you at another time with Third Side Convo.
And we're back.
We're back.
I gotta go, everybody. I got a life to change at 7.
You gotta go. Go,
All right,
Johnny.
hey, Johnny.
Nice seeing everybody.
Good seeing you, buddy.
I lose Johnny. Really? For the after show? You're killing me, Johnny. Killing me.
Killing us.
I'll take up for
Oh,
it.
my goodness.
Can y'all
What's
hear
that,
me?
Larry?
I'll take up for Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Ted, you'd have had to see the whole movie, but the silliness was this is what they are teaching. That's what this was about. And I won't argue with you either. You could probably go to a MAGA rally, okay, and find some idiots there. Got it? No question. So, and like when Jesse Waters goes out, is he going to interview the people? He's going to interview the one that makes the best theater. But here's Joe Boy's very valid point. The ones that do, listen, I heard about those people doing this dinner like a couple of years ago. They were charging $8,000 to a bunch of white, rich, liberal women. And this is what they were doing. And when you watched it, and you didn't get to see enough of it where you could see the things they were saying and stuff. But I'm saying I really have a problem with that form of teaching what they're teaching.
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, can we talk to the gallery, Bob? I know you got a lot to say, Bob, but let's start with Ollie. Ollie, what did you think?
We got people in there.
I'm going to cede my time to Bill. Bob made the comment that if Larry's comment about athletics were mentioned earlier, and Bill had mentioned it about 20 minutes prior to that. So go, Bill.
Yeah. Well, as we were talking about the quotas and everything, and it basically it was mirrored by Larry, and I basically asked the question on with reference to the NBA. If we put race quotas on the NBA, it would be approximately 65% white, and that would definitely not make the NBA a better place because we want the best players, just as Ted said. And as a fairly recent graduate of an historically Black university law school, I can tell you they are teaching DEI to the students and trying their best to instill this in the next generation of law.
I don't think so.
Lawyers, and it is it is a bad concept, and to say that it's not a real thing is a little bit of denial. And just one last point, because unfortunately I got to leave quick. When it comes to where the United States is in racism, I've lived in a total of 9 foreign countries and visited 26. And I can tell you, just based on my experience, America is the least racist country in the world.
Ditto.
Good.
Okay.
Wow.
So how about Donald Thomas? Why don't you tell us what your thoughts are?
Oh, well, I was on the show last week, and I saw the movie, and just to make a couple points about the DEI, I can't say the name of the politics. It's like what Larry said, what Johnny said about being a CEO and started his own business from the ground up. This is the difference between like millionaires that made themselves, or people that made themselves on their own, that started off. They know more about the classes because some started poor and worked themselves up all through the classes. And there's a couple of people out there who are millionaires. They were born in the millions. They don't know nothing about what it is to struggle and what it is to like that because they're born millionaires. And I'm saying one of them is a top candidate. He has no idea what it is to struggle with other people and other thing like that because he was born a millionaire already had money. So he didn't have to do that struggle. So I just want to say that part about people coming up in different neighborhoods and coming like that. They know what the struggle is. They see it with other people, even though they're not Black, they're not white. But if you were born in a diverse neighborhood, you've seen what is out there. So my thing is, there's nothing wrong with getting people all on the same bus to the same location. But once you get to the location, you're on your own. So the job with the diversity and everything is to get people to the same location. But once you get off the bus, you have to make it your thing. All this diversity stuff is to get people to get a start. We need to go pick the people up who wants to learn, but we got to get them on the bus to get there. And then once you get on the bus, you're on your own. So that's why I agree with in America. That's how we should be. To get people that we can get them on the bus, get them to that destination, and then your merit, who you are, your color doesn't matter. Then you go for the job part. But you have to go around to pick them up.
Don, let me ask you a question. Doesn't sports actually work like that if you think about it? Because what happens is, for example, baseball.
Pick the best, right?
Minors was where I crapped out. After minors, I didn't even get into majors, quote, little league, right?
Right.
Now, basketball, I went a little further, okay? So that's the great thing about sports. I was able to play whatever sports I wanted to play.
Yeah.
But obviously, my merit, yeah.
Well, the sports right now, so like let's take baseball. Let's take baseball is
same chances as everybody else.
Right. Baseball is a prime example of what I mean, because back in the day in sports, all the neighborhoods had leagues, right? So black, white, you played in the league. So when they recruited back in the baseball, you had black and white players, and like right now. So now the thing with baseball is shifted to Dominican Republic and different areas. So like your baseball players are mostly Dominicans and everything like that. But what's missing in America, you don't have all into the neighborhoods anymore. You don't have all those programs that made the other players of today. So I always say about talent, you will find talent wherever it's at. If talent's there, they will find you. If you got talent, somebody will pick you up, somebody will see you, if you have the talent to get there. So
do you not see at all, Donald, that it may be a grift or a way to keep people divisive by saying, how do you feel about the term white people? Doesn't that make you comfortable? Does it make you feel horrible? And teaching that in a class that you're required to go to work at a large company. Do you not see that might be some sort of bull?
Well, like anything else, if there's money to be made in like countries, in racism, there's money. It's like home. There's money to be made. So it's like in the media, everybody makes money. So there's money to be made. That's why it's still around. If you didn't make money off it, it wouldn't be around. So they make money like the dinners and everything else. It's just one of those things that we're gonna have to live with, because as long as there's money being made off this, it will always be around. Same thing, the war on drugs for years. It's the same thing. Drugs stood around, It's the same concept.
And that's what we talk about it. But hold on one second. Ramon Nunez is in the house. Tucker Fox is in the house. I'm seeing him on Zoom. Ramon, did you have any thoughts? Did he just jump in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just joined. And I'm only listening to a part of the conversation, so forgive me if I speak out of turn or say something. The gentleman, made an interesting comment about, some of the types of education that we now see in the corporate world. And I think, that made me think about how I feel about that type of education. I think that it should be nice to everybody, and we should emphasize, the goals of the company that you're here with, and just to be good to clients, and that when you do good work, you get rewarded with more business. And if you follow those rules, you're not going to offend people. And also, I also believe, and by the way, I'm going to turn on my camera so that you can see that I don't know if you can see me, but I'm not of Caucasian heritage. And I that doesn't matter, because I think we should just all be nice to everybody. But I also think that, like if somebody says something to me that may appear to be mean or whatever, or, like I should give that person, and, maybe I'm fortunate because I've grown up, I was born in the 70s and I grew up in a different time. I recognize that bad things happen, or, I'm sure that bad things may continue to happen. And I've just lived a very fortunate life. But if somebody says something to me, number one, that makes me wonder, man, I wonder what this guy's doing. Number one, I think that guy could be an asshole, forgive my word. And number two, if you behave like that, like just in the world of business where good deeds get rewarded with more business, that person, if they continue to behave like that, is going to fail, and they will be taken care of. And so, I think that it's like me worrying about the price of coffee in China. Like sometimes too much can kind of create like a little bit of a pushback and can kind of be an obstacle. So I think that maybe my response is I think it could be possible that we're pushing things too much with that kind of corporate education modules that become mandatory in a lot of today's businesses. And it just becomes a waste of money, and it highlights how we're different instead of what's the goals and what can we do to work together. If you're different from me, I love you and I want to try to learn from you. Because that means that you know things that I've not experienced yet, and I want to try to learn from every different culture. And if you may have, because of the way that I look, some preconceived ideas, I think that I'm going to try to behave as good and work as hard and be as responsible and as make every effort to try to succeed in my business. And so in so doing, you're going to see that hopefully that people like me are people that you want on your team. And I think that most people probably
ideas, very good points.
Thanks, Ramon.
Right.
It's good to see you.
Hey, Joe Boy.
That was awesome.
Yes,
Joe
Ted,
Boy.
Ted.
Joe Boy, the fact these people are making money, are you surprised that there are people making money off bad ideas in America? I mean, did Bernie Madoff mean anything to you? I mean, come on. And the fact that, athletes and all that stuff, remember 80 years ago, blacks couldn't play baseball. For that matter, 40 years ago, blacks would apply for a housing loan and they found out they're black by their name and they get turned down. So, there's still a lot of inherent systematic racism throughout spots of America. It still exists. It's been coming up all the time. That's why lawsuits are created.
We don't want to go the other direction. We just don't want to go the other direction. Baseball, they solved this issue about 60 years ago in baseball when the Dodgers and the Giants started adding Hispanic and black players, and they kicked the American League's butt for about 30 years in there. So the American League.
I've never owned a baseball team, so it's not to do with me. I hire people based on the quality of their work.
Well, baseball is they find the talent. That's where they'll find the talent where it's at, and they'll go for it. That's all about baseball.
Find racism if you're looking for it, and especially if you can sell it. I mean, let's face it, there'll always be another Al Sharpton in the world, and just because it goes by another name, it doesn't matter. There's people that will always be pushing racism. They'll always be pushing, we're different, we need something for free, you're wrong, and the fix is you're still wrong. Now pay me.
Joe Boy,
to keep us divided.
Joe Boy, you never saw a movie, a film, it was a documentary about SC going to Alabama, and SC kicked the crap out of Alabama. And this is 73. Alabama was still an all-white football team.
Is that another sports thing? Because you're right. I don't do sports.
They said Sam Cunningham did more for integration in Alabama than Martin Luther King.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, all the white people are going, wow, man, we need a few of those. Yeah, so there you go. And that statement, by the way, would be racist, because those demarcates them as being different than the other people on the team. You got to remember that. That's some of the things that people are talking about, inherent racism. We need some of those black players. Oh, we need some of those Dominican players. That denotes that you see things through race or culture.
How about we need more skilled players?
Yeah, they just made it available for them. So. Well, cool. No. And I'm glad Ramon is here. Who else hadn't gotten to talk on the peanut gallery?
Well, Tucker's in the peanut gallery, but I think he's hiding.
Yeah, he's his camera
his mic
on.
muted, his camera off, and he texted me, Joe, I'm just going to listen. I'm not saying a word.
No, that's okay.
Hey, Bob, wasn't there that clever student interview at UF about whether you'd want to have like white or black players on the football team or something like that?
Oh yeah.
I forgot how that went.
Not a Matt Walsh thing, but yes.
Well, why you got Ollie on there? Hey, Ollie, this is another thing with Ollie and myself. Another thing we can look at it, because we have Ollie, we have an autistic group that we belong to, and in autism, it's not the racism is not there. It's just that we got kids that are autistic, and it's just not, it is just not prevalent. It's just us hanging around autistic dads talking about our sons. And race probably never comes up really, Ollie, right? It never really comes up. And because our sons and our kids are just, they're just in a different realm. And that's one thing I think with autism, where it's not racism, but it doesn't really exist until it gets way down at the bottom of the list. It's just taking care of those kids and make sure the kids express themselves. And they're the most expressive kids, because they'll tell you like it is, They'll let you know straight up.
They don't have a lot of filters, do they, Don?
No, none.
Well, I think one of the good things about this show is the fact that, first off, the movie was good. It was funny. It made people go watch. I'm hoping more people go see, both liberals and conservatives. So at least they can open up the conversation to talk about this stuff and see, hey, maybe there is a scam going on, and maybe we should be looking at it. And maybe we should realize that we're not that far different, and it's not.
Uh-oh, you went dead.
What happened? Where'd you
I
go?
don't know. Joe,
Where'd you go?
Joe, you've never sounded better there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. He muted
The
himself.
funny thing with Don and with Ollie, I think that the fact that they're both Cowboys fans ranks ahead of their race, so the race is probably fifth or sixth important to Don and to Ollie after their family and the Dallas Cowboys and stuff like that. In fact, we're going to kick the Niners' butts this week, right there, Ted?
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Ted, who's
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
who's
if you look
3
at
and
history of
4,
America-
and who's 3 and 3?
Playing Gator at wide
So are the
receiver,
Cowboys. The Cowboys are really banged up. One thing
No,
about
I know
America, we've
Yes.
invaded this country. I'm
Yeah,
sure
they
that's
have.
when we came to this country, we colonized this country. But we've always demarcated people. The Pilgrims were different from the other settlers. The Hatfield and McCoys in Tennessee,
question.
always demarcated themselves. Then, of course, you brought in the slaves, but you also brought in the Creoles, and you brought in the people from the Caribbean, and of course Hispania, and not even just Spain, but Mexico and the whole Central America. We always demarcate as a way of self-identifying, I think, and separating.
But that's normal. That's
It is
normal.
normal.
I mean,
It is.
That is. It
But
is.
the point
I
is
mean,
that we used to denigrate by doing that, and then we have to take away the denigration, the
gotta
implied
take it away.
the implied inferiority of those black
You got
guys,
it.
those white people, whatever.
Right.
Ted, after spending more time with you, I've always thought higher of you, not less.
Now you
So
still haven't
thank
sent me
you
any
all.
cigars, though. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know, but they are coming. You don't.
My
There's a
cigar.
reason for it. One of these days. I'll sit down and tell you why. But yeah, you'll be seeing them soon. But thank you all for a great show, Ramon and everybody on the Peanut Gallery. I appreciate y'all being here, and Joe Boy, thank you for putting up with me. And like I said, please, yes. No, it's not a man bun. But it is true that I'm like Matt Walsh. There's a reason I have my hair like this, and it's probably the same reason as Matt Walsh, so I can get people together and get them to tell me the truth about how they feel. Thank you very much. See you next time on the third side.
Bye, guys.
All right.